Folks, things getting banned in fighting games is a relatively rare occurrence. For a character to get banned, they have to be insanely overpowered, like Akuma in Street Fighter 2 or something like that. But of course, when we think about stage bans in fighting games, usually it's like platform fighters because their stages are crazy and have all kinds of platforms and obstacles and stuff. But for traditional fighting games, usually the stages are just a box, right? Why would you ever need to ban a stage in fighting games? Aren't they just visual? They're identical except for the visuals. Well, I wanted to talk about some cases where this wasn't true. Let's talk about banned stages in traditional fighting games. You know, usually when you look at the rules for a tournament fighting game, it's pretty standard stuff. Double elimination, 2 out of 3 rounds, 3 out of 5 games. And then it'll usually say random stage select. Players may opt for an agreed stage. For 99% of fighting games, you just go random unless you both can agree to pick a stage that you both like. But Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is an interesting exception. Here, Bone Wonderland stage only. Marvel 3 is one of the only fighting games where you're only allowed to play on one stage in tournaments. So why is that? So the first issue is performance. So this game was largely played on Xbox 360 for much of its tournament lifespan, and on that console and on some other platforms as well. Certain stages, if they have a lot going on, can cause frame drops, they can cause slowdown and various issues. And the last thing you want is to, you know, be in the middle of your hype combo and then you just randomly drop it because the game slowed down for a second. So some stages have slowdown. Some stages are very dark, and depending on the color you pick for your character, it can be actually really hard to see what's going on and make it hard, especially in a game so fast. If you can't instantly identify the character, you're going to have a lot of problems. So these dark stages are not preferred. And at the end of the day, the humble Bone Wonderland just really ticks all the boxes. It's a simple stage. There are no frame drops because there's not a lot going on in the background. It's bright. It's very, very easy to detect the characters against the background. And it's also not as boring as something like Training Stage or the Danger Room. So you can look at this stage forever and, you know, never really get tired of it because it's just simple and pleasant looking. So these days, only Bone Wonderland is played in tournament for Ultimate Marvel because this stage has no major issues that some other stages are affected by. So some stages in fighting games can be banned for performance reasons. They can be banned for visibility or readability reasons. But some stages are banned because they actually give a bonus to specific characters. They give a character an unfair advantage. And one of those is the Flamenco Tavern in Street Fighter 5. Vega is the only character in the game who can interact with this stage. He can actually grab the, chain divider thing here. Kind of a reference to Street Fighter 2, where Boss Vega could do the same thing. And yeah, he's the only character that has any kind of stage interaction in this whole game. So even though it's not actually that useful, you can't really control Vega while you're up here. Just the idea that there is only one character who is given a special advantage by this stage led Capcom to ban this stage in tournament. There's also stages like Kanzuki Beach, which this is a really nice looking stage. I think it looks quite beautiful. But the issue is, as you can see, these waves kind of cover up your character's feet. So first of all, it's a little bit awkward playing a fighting game where like someone's feet can be hidden beneath a wave. But even more important, there are characters like Birdie who can throw stuff on the ground. So you can see I essentially have an invisible can rolling across the ground because it's covered up by the waves. So yeah, that's kind of a problem when characters can do projectiles that are partially or fully hidden by the stage. There are also characters like Jury and Nikali who have kind of ground fireballs. So the idea of stuff like that getting covered up, yeah, really annoying. Gives certain advantages to certain characters, so we don't want that. So Kanzuki Beach is banned as well. Skies of Honor is an interesting one. This stage is actually banned in tournament just because it's very disorienting to play on. I mean, you can see once the airplane starts tilting, oh, I start getting queasy, man. This one's tough, and like even just trying to play the game on this stage becomes very hard because everything starts to kind of feel like it's at an angle. Things just don't feel right when you're playing on this stage, and it's It's very unpleasant, especially for people who suffer from motion sickness. So yes, the Skies of Honor is banned as well. The Mysterious Cove is also banned in Street Fighter V. I don't know of any real reason for this other than it's just a really dark stage, one of the darkest in the game. Certain characters and certain colors can be quite hard to see on a stage that is this dark. And finally, the Field of Fate is also banned in Street Fighter V. It has a minor version of the issue from the beach stage where, you know, people's feet are just partially covered up by this grass here. So it can be a little bit hard to see what's down at your feet. But the even bigger issue that this stage has is that it just doesn't have well-defined corners. So if we're at like this range, it's almost impossible to tell if we're in range of the corner. How close to the corner are we? It is very, very difficult to see where the stage ends. So this makes a lot of stuff hard if you are required to do a combo that, you know, it's like, oh, I have to do this route if I'm, you know, a few character lengths away from the corner to make the combo work. You can't really tell where you are. So it's really annoying, and it's unfortunate because this is such a beautiful stage, but this one is, in fact, banned for its visual properties and stuff being hard to see. A similar issue exists for Eno's boss stage in Guilty Gear Accent Core. Not only is it really hard to tell like where the ground is, like when you're doing juggle combos and stuff, it's kind of hard to know when you're going to land because the ground doesn't look very solid. And also, the corners on this stage are very poorly defined. It's very hard to tell, you know, am I getting close to the corner at all? I have no clue. So yeah, this is another stage that is banned in tournament. And I believe even in the online version of the games, this stage is not selectable when playing against other people. Vampire Savior famously has a banned stage. I don't even know if I can say the name of this stage because of YouTube demonetization, but let's just call it the Baby of God. And this stage is actually a different length than other stages in the game. So just to prove it, I'm gonna hop corner to corner with Lele, and let's see how many hops it takes to get over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 31, 32, 33. About 32 to 33 hops to get from corner to corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And only like 25, 26 hops to go corner to corner on a normal stage. So it is significantly larger from corner to corner. So obviously for keep away characters that want to run away from you and keep you far away, being further away from the corner is really, really useful. So that can really affect balance. So yeah, the Baby of God stage is banned. I think on arcade, it might not even be a selectable stage. I think this might only apply to the various ports that the game got. But yeah, that stage is in fact not playable in tournament. So I think all the reasons that we've talked about today are pretty comprehensible, right? Visibility of stages, performance of stages, issues with seeing things on screen or finding the corner. But the weirdest reason I think I've ever heard of a stage being banned is for copyright reasons. There are reports, I haven't witnessed this for myself, but there are reports that in certain Japanese tournaments, if they get Guile stage in Super Turbo, they just reset and get a different stage because this famous Guile music can trigger YouTube copyright protection. I guess because there's so many covers and stuff of it, that this is the only song in Street Fighter 2 that I know of where you might be at risk of getting your video demonetized or copyright claimed if you include this song. So I'm going to include the song. We'll see if that happens to me. I don't know. I've also had the same issue in Injustice 2, by the way. Certain songs in Injustice 2 have gotten my videos copyright claimed. So, yeah, hopefully this problem can get fixed in the future because obviously the real rights holder for this song are the video game makers, not like the random record companies that upload a cover and then claim everyone else who has the song. So hopefully this issue can get fixed. But yeah, this is just something that I've seen people talk about on Twitter and stuff. So yeah, kind of a weird one. All right, and finally, let's hop into Street Fighter 6. Did you guys know that Street Fighter 6 has a banned stage? A lot of you might not realize this. You know, there's no issues with stage performance offline. There's not really any stages where it's hard to see stuff or there's weird issues with the corner. So the only banned stage in this game is actually Training Room. This stage is legitimately banned just because people don't like looking at it. People are tired of the grid. They're tired of training stage. It feels like in previous games, every single match people would play on the training stage just because it has the best visibility. You have these markers on the ground that make it really clear where you're standing and where the corner is. So this is a really comfortable stage for the competitors. Also, there's nothing on screen that could potentially cause slowdown. So Capcom actually banned this stage because it reflected poorly on tournaments to only have the spectators watching this stage over and over. So all stages are legal in Street Fighter 6 except for training stage, which is banned from Capcom Pro Tour offline events. Online, you can play whatever you want because the stage is actually for each player. Like whatever stage that you pick is what's shown on your screen. But for offline, obviously you're sharing a TV and it's getting streamed to everybody, so they don't want to see the training stage. So do you guys agree with this decision? Personally, I like it. I think honestly, training stage should probably be training mode exclusive, you know? I'm glad we can actually see some real stages in offline tournaments, but let me know what you think. Did you learn anything new from this video? Were any of these little fun factoids new to you? Let me know down in the description. Thank you to Brian F for kind of giving me this idea. He did a video about the ones in Street Fighter 5, so I'll link that in the description. That's kind of what got me thinking, what other games have some banned stages? So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.